guys, it's Jen and welcome back to my channel. Now today I have a Track Tuesday episode which is slightly late, so I'm sorry guys. I'm sure you guys are all used to it by now. But this week's vote was probably the most popular vote throughout the whole history of this Track Tuesday series. And this week's vote was between the Urban Decay Naked palettes, which is definitely something that everyone already knows about, but I have never done a review about, so I just put it out there in case you guys would want a comparison between all of them. And also the Benefit lip balms and lip tints. And I just really had to honestly skim through my votes because I couldn't count them all because there were so many, and I just had to sort of guesstimate which one I thought had the most. So the Benefit ones I noticed a lot more people had posted up, but still there were so many people who wanted naked palettes as well, so I'm going to leave the option open for if you guys want me to include that in next week's Track Tuesday vote with a new product. Just leave it down in the comments below for me to do that because there were so many of you guys who still wanted that. So yes, this week is going to be about the Benefit balms and tints, and the balms are sort of relatively new products to Benefit's collection, so if you're interested, just keep watching. So first off, the Benefit tints are probably a huge staple in anyone's makeup collection. Anyone who is a makeup lover probably owns one or more of these tints, and from my memory anyway, I think Benefit was probably the first brand that came out with the whole idea of tints in the first place. They first off started with the Benetint, which is this dark rosy red color, and then they began to add in different colors over the years. So they do have a range of different colors now, but they are not really that cheap. This is just speaking as if you guys don't know about them already. I'm pretty sure you guys do, but just in case. And they are very, very popular. So I'm going to be talking about these guys and giving you guys demonstrations and swatches. And then there are their balms, which came out just about last year. And you're meant to use them together because you use the tints either on your cheeks or your lips. And then you place a layer of the balm on top to keep your lips nice and moisturized and chapped free and slightly glossy. And the whole idea about it is that it just has the same color, so it just works hand in hand together. Okay, so to begin with the tints, the Benetint is a classic of classics. It's a rose colored stain and you can use it for your lips or your cheeks. And it's the same thing with the other ones, although the Benetint one comes in this translucent container. The other ones come in a container that you cannot see through, so it's just got the color going on. And the Chachatint is a mango tinted one, and the Posietint is poppy pink. They also have Lollibalm, which is a slight lavender color. So all of the containers are like this. They are kind of on the large side, but because of that, it can be used for a very long time. In US dollars, they cost $30, and all of them come with 12.5 mils. So the Benetint is the first tint that Benefit came out with, and it's a rose-colored stain. It's a very watery stain. This one is a see-through glass container, and it just has a very simple white lid with a brush applicator, which I personally don't like because it's so flimsy and it just doesn't really mold to your lips or your face very nicely. Now this Benetint, I definitely really love the color. It's really, really sexy and really fresh looking, and it just gives you that just bitten lip look, so it doesn't feel like you've got anything on your lips either, and it lasts for a very long time. I just love that it's got a really pretty pink undertone to it, so it looks not too scary of a red. So this one is really, really watery and it kind of gets all over the place. Sometimes if you place a little bit too much on your lips, it goes into your teeth and then you end up eating the product as well. Whereas the Posietint and the Chachatint can be placed very specifically and it kind of stays there unless you touch it or you move it. The Posietint is a really pretty sort of lollipop pink color. It's like a bubblegummy pink, which all of you guys know that I love. And this is also more of a cream than like a liquid. So it can be placed on very specifically and you just sort of use your fingers to dab it in and rub it in quickly. Now as I said, the Chachatint is such a pretty color. Perfect for the spring and summer seasons because it gives you a really fresh look. It looks really pretty on the cheeks honestly, but I think it works much better for pale skin. There can be low pigment to high pigment depending on how many layers you put on. And all three of these guys have a really, really pretty soft feminine rose scent to it. So if you like rose, you will definitely like this, but if you're sensitive, just keep that in mind. I personally end up using all three of these, kind of taking turns depending on what my makeup is that day. So if I go for a soft girly look, I go for the Posietint, and the Chachatint is for those days that I want to have a coral themed makeup. And the Benetint is just for all occasions really, and I think it's definitely a little bit more suitable for the nighttime occasion. So what do I think about these guys? I think they're definitely worth the investment if you want to go for a Western branded tint. Just a couple of cons about the tints is, first of all, the brush. I really don't like how flimsy the brushes are. It's really blunt and it is very flimsy, so if you just apply it on, it kind of like floats around your face and your lips and it doesn't really go to the places that you want it to go, so that's one thing. Secondly is that the both Posietint and Chachatint, I don't really find it so much with the Benetint, but these ones kind of give you a little bit of a numbing sensation after you use it. And it's not too harsh, but it is something that you still notice and it could be irritating to some people. Thirdly is the fact that it is actually very expensive if you think about it. It's like $30 US for a lip tint, which perhaps you can find better dupes for out there on the Asian tint market. That's questionable and up to the personal preference. And oh yes, the last thing that I think you really need to be careful of is the fact that if you use this on your cheeks, you have to work very quickly with it. So the first place that you initially drop it on, if it's on for a couple of seconds before you start rubbing it in, that little area that you've dropped it on becomes much more pigmented than the rest of the area after you blend it in. So it's like you've got a little dot. It does blend nicely, but then it leaves a little bit of a mark on the place where you first placed it on. So you do have to work very quickly with it and be careful of that. I remember in one of my tutorials, I featured this product and it was my Korean Orjang makeup tutorial, and I did like 2 dots on each cheek. And because when you're filming you take a little bit more time to blend, I left it on for a couple more seconds, and then after I blended I had 2 dots. Like, it looked like I was trying to get freckles or something. Probably not something that you want to go out with. So just keep that in mind. Now the question that a lot of you guys were asking me to cover was how I think of these guys in comparison to Korean lip tints. I'm gonna have to be very honest with you guys and tell you guys that if you really want to save money, I really think that Korean tints are pretty much the way to go because they're much cheaper, the packaging is much more diverse, and obviously the brushes and things like that are a little bit more functional and easy to use. And also you do get dupes. For example, the Benetint is very similar to the Tony Moly Tony Tint Delight, as well as the Etude House Dear Darling tints. They have really similar kind of consistencies. These guys actually have a yummier scent and like very candy-like smell to it. So personally, I think that that's just really nice. And they're so much cheaper. They're like usually $4 to $6, 5,000, 6,000 won or so. And also there are a huge variety of different tints that come with different kind of undertones, and some of them are much more pigmented as well. And you guys all know that I own so many Korean tints and I'm a sucker for them, so I do actually end up not really reaching for the Benefit tints as much. I don't really think of using these unless they're sitting on my desk, on my table somewhere where I can see them, and it just happens to be a little bit more convenient to use them. So yes, there are definitely dupes for all of these colors in the Korean tint market, and also the fact that these guys will probably last you a little bit longer than Korean tints, because Korean tints will come with maybe a little bit less product, and also sometimes the Korean tints packaging tends to sort of fade away and disappear as you use it through. A couple of things to just keep in mind, but yes, I do recommend them and I would repurchase them, and yes, I would give them a thumbs up. So that is that, and now moving on to the balms. Now first of all, I really love the packaging of these balms. I mean, they're super pretty and cute, and they're metallic and shiny, and they have the color of the balm itself on the outside, which just makes you really want to reach for it. You wouldn't be embarrassed taking it out and putting it on when you're outside in public, compared to some other lip balms that might not be as pretty to use, or maybe, you know, the packaging sort of fades after a while and then it just becomes a bit unsightly to use in public. So packaging wise, these guys get a huge thumbs up, and the fact that their colors are all the same colors as their tints I think is great, because you really can work together with them. For example, these guys are like a pair together, and that's just so cute and romantic, I think. Obviously the tints will not provide any moisture for your lips, but these guys will top it off and help your tints stay on for longer as well. So here they are, guys. They look like they're lipsticks. They twist up like a lipstick, and they look like really like a solid lip color, but they are not very opaque. So honestly guys, these guys are so subtle that I end up not really using them that much for the color itself, because my lips are pretty pigmented naturally, so I usually have to conceal my lips first in order for anything as sheer as this to come out, and I just can't be bothered to do that. Yeah, apart from that, I don't end up using these guys that often, just to let you guys know. But the scent is nice as well. It smells like that rose scent that is the same as the tints, so it's nice and subtle but really feminine and not chemically. It's really natural smelling. And it also comes with 3 grams of product. The price point US wise is $18, and each of the balms have a different pattern on it. The Posiebalm has a really pretty flower pattern on the top. The Benebalm has polka dots, so cute. And the Lollibalm has a sort of a circus or fate-like theme with these little candies on them. But some things for you guys to take note of is the fact that yes, at $18 a pop, they are not too cheap. They are not terribly pigmented. Actually, they are so sheer that even on the back of my hand, you can see that you can't really tell the difference between the colors. So if you have naturally sort of pigmented lips like me, then they probably won't really show up that much. Really just a balm with a tiny bit of a tint. So personally for me, at $18 for a lip balm with a tiny bit of a color, I think that those who end up going for this would probably just go for it because it is Benefit, or because the packaging is pretty, or they sort of think that it's good quality. Because there are so many balms on the market that have a little bit of color and it's not that expensive. I think if someone has given it to me, I would like it, but I probably would not go out there and just buy it for myself because it just feels like it's a little bit of a waste of money for my personal makeup preferences. But for anyone who really loves and adores sheer lip balms with a bit of a tint, it's a nice pleasant moisturized feeling with a nice gloss, and it does kind of fill in the lips and make it look slightly plumper. And I think that it definitely works hand in hand together with the tints. So if you really want to go all out and sort of spoil yourself and get some tints, definitely go and get some balms. So that is my completed review of the Benefit balms and tints. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed spending time with me today. And if you have any questions or queries about this product, or any products that you would like me to consider in my votes for next week's Track Tuesday or my future ones, just leave it down below or thumbs up someone else's comment. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I encourage you guys to do so. Just to join on board, you get free videos from me every week. And as always, I cherish all of your support, so thank you for watching this video. I will talk to you guys all in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye!